What is up, guys? We are back for another one. I just want to start again by saying a massive thank you. My subscriber count has been climbing ever since I challenged you guys to start hitting that subscribe button. So once again, just thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And of course, as always, if you're not already, please do subscribe. You won't regret it. So we are back for day 3 on the Shredder. If you guys haven't caught my first video, go ahead and click that one right here. It's a good one. If you have watched it, you'll have seen that I got pretty frustrated on the Lynx yesterday. We got into some pretty technical terrain down a creek, and it just kind of exposed my inexperience on this sled. I'm not gonna lie, there's quite a few moments where I wished I was on my Polaris, but I mean, that's all a part of the learning curve. I knew it was going to take some time to get used to this. It's not the machine's fault, that's for sure. It's an incredible machine, and it's just going to take some time to get used to it. But it's just frustrating having the feeling that you're just starting all over again in, you know, technical terrain that I would normally be really confident in. I just didn't have the confidence yesterday. You know, that's all a part of sledding, is just trial and error. If you're not making mistakes, you know, you're not learning. So just always keep that in mind when you're starting to get a little frustrated. It's all a part of the process. We all started somewhere. Well, today is a new day, coming in fresh, coming in excited. We're gonna hit up a new area today, bigger Alpine stuff. Hoping for a nice clear day, get some really sweet drone footage, and just bring you guys some more great content. At the end of this video, I'm gonna do my first impression of the Lynx, so make sure to watch to the end. You're not gonna wanna miss that. Without further ado, let's get into the action.
They say every day's a new day. Live it like your last day. It's okay to feel great. Yeah, you're all jumping on a new wave. Time goes by, but I'll stay stuck up in my old ways. So hard to unlearn habits we've gotten addicted to. I'm trying to change my life, but so much easier to say than do. Oh, please help me. Please go easy on me.
Okay, so we're just in the parking lot doing the first little touch-ups here. And now with these Lynxes and the Gen 5s, there's been a common theme of the chain case loosening up a ton in that break-in period. And so make sure every day to check, and even throughout the day, you want to check your chain case tension. And how you do that is you want to set the park brake on, and then just give your secondary a wiggle. And any play in here is the play in your chain. And so as we can see, that's quite a bit. It might not seem like much, but that little bit of give on a 180 horsepower machine, a little bit of slack can turn into a bad day very quick. So take the extra 2 minutes, check your tension, and tighten if necessary. Mine is a little loose, so we're gonna go ahead and tighten it. And to do that, on your chain case side, just tucked in behind, you've got a little torque screw. So grab your toolkit wrench, and we're gonna go ahead and just tighten this up. You do not have to remove the clip in behind it. Don't even touch it. Just go in and give it a tighten. You don't have to be red in the face when tightening this. You just wanna give it a couple turns. Once you start feeling tension on the screwdriver, go back on the other side and check your tension on your secondary. Looks like we drove past all the clouds, clear skies. Gonna be a good day. Alrighty. I got a piss, dude. I'll do it.
I'm trying to change my life, but so much easier to say than do.
I may have put it in the panini press for a little too long. She's toasty. Beautiful day, boys. Up on top of the clouds here. We first went up over this, dropped down in. We were trying to get onto that opposing face, but what you can't see from here, the valley in between these two faces is just completely socked in with a thick cloud. We dropped down in and just could not see a thing to break trail into that next area. So we decided just to come back here, enjoy the sun, have some lunch. Threw the drone up, as you guys would have seen on that re-entry attempt. Got my first little bit of damage. That did not take long. Cracked the lid. My shoulder went through there. And then the side of the running board got me right on the calf, just above the boot. That is very tender. But there is too much sunshine, so we got to keep riding. Pop a couple Advil. That should deal with that. I'm going to feel that definitely tomorrow. Gorgeous day. These views never get old. No complaints here. Alright guys, so that is a wrap on 3 days of riding on the new Lynx. So let's answer the big question. What do I think about it? Bottom line, the Lynx is amazing. There's a ton of things I liked about it. Needless to say, the Turbo R is absolutely amazing. It is so powerful. It sounds amazing. The turbo whistle on it just inspires you to stay on the throttle. It sounds absolutely incredible. It is an absolute wheelie machine. The Lynx has 4 limiter strap settings, and you just need a couple wrenches to change it. It's not a quick adjust like these Skidoo experts are. I never moved it from factory, which is on the second longest setting. So essentially that would make it a little more playful, kind of skis up. But what really impressed me is that despite constantly having the skis in the air, normally when you're climbing steep faces, as soon as your skis come up, you kind of lose all momentum. But that was just not the case with this Turbo R. You could climb almost vertical faces, skis straight in the air, and you would not lose any momentum at all. You would, in fact, gain momentum. The suspension was very nice. It ate up the rough trails pretty well, and I had a couple pretty flat landings on some jumps, and it soaked it up really nicely. I didn't make any adjustments on the skid, so it's something I could do down the road being a little heavier guy. But I mean, right out of the box, set up really nice and no complaints there. But I do want to get a little more critical. Please keep in mind this is only after 3 days of riding this machine. These aren't statements, these are just my first impressions. And also keep in mind that my other sled is a 2022 Polaris Matrix. So a lot of my comparisons are based off of that machine and comparing it to that Polaris chassis. So I'm not picking any favorites here, I'm just merely comparing with the information I have so far. The things I'm a little more critical with the Lynx, just found it to be a little squirrely. And so this is coming back to kind of my principle of the Polaris being very predictable, very precise, especially in that technical terrain. You just point where you want to go and it's just a hot knife and butter, go straight there. And I just found that the Lynx is just a little more squirrely. It's a little more unpredictable, and you're kind of constantly making these little adjustments, whereas the Polaris is kind of just cut straight. And so again, yes, I know this is only after 3 days. I know with more time on this machine, I would be a little more precise with it because I know I'm overriding it right now. But those are just my first impressions. I got into a little more technical riding this weekend, and I did not have as much confidence on this chassis, which, yes, is to be expected. At this time right now, I'm confident in saying that the Polaris chassis for me is much more predictable. You know, you point and go, where I find like I'm constantly fighting the Lynx to just keep it straight. It always wants to veer in one direction or another. I also find that it just takes more effort to ride. To put it on edge, to counter steer and flop it over, just takes a little more effort, I find. And one thing unique to the Lynx are the extra wide skis. And I felt like when you're not in the deepest snow, those skis just added a little more resistance in trying to get it over on edge. So I could definitely see myself putting the Skidoo skis on this because I just don't see the need for those extra wide skis up front. So that's kind of my consensus right now. In that really technical stuff, in the trees, I definitely prefer the Polaris right now. Like I said, it's just more predictable. But then our last day, we stayed more in the Alpine, and the Lynx was an absolute blast. That unpredictability and that squirreliness makes it a lot of fun to ride. It's so easy to pop out of the snow, so easy to do re-entries. That type of riding, it is phenomenal. But if I had to pick right now, when you're getting down in the dirty in Schitt's Creek, I definitely prefer the predictability of that Polaris chassis. So take that with a grain of salt. That's only 3 days of riding the Lynx, and that's just me being really critical. Like I said, at the end of the day, it is a phenomenal machine. The Turbo R blew me away. Right now, if I could have my choice, I would have this Turbo R in my Matrix chassis, and that would be the absolute dream machine. Make sure you guys subscribe, because I'm going to continue reviewing this the more and more I get familiar with it, and I'm sure my opinion will change. And also, I want to get this out on the hill alongside my Polaris so I can really do some hopping back and forth and get a much better comparison. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you don't take my review to heart. At the end of the day, they're all phenomenal machines. A lot of it is going to come down to personal preference. It was an absolute blast to ride this. I can't wait to get more seat time and to bring you guys some more reviews. So stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.